Resurrection!
And yo, it's time for it, everybody, once again. Sticks or pads, don't matter if you're a foe or a friend. Go and boot that shit up, run the set, first to three. We got pride on the line, looking for that victory. Got the meaties and the anti-airs on lock, the nooch supreme. We got set play like Windex, you'll be saying that we're clean. So without further ado, holler out, let's fucking go. Join us in the barnyard and let's kick off the show.
Don't touch that dial! It's that time once again, so get yourselves comfy. Introducing the dynamic duo, the boomer and the zoomer, the hosts who boast the most roast. Your boys Khanage and old Mate Barry are here to take you down to the Bahnyard, where the banner is free, and the hosts are surprisingly even more free. Take it away, you filthy animals.
What's cracking, you deplorable pieces of shit? It's your boy, Old Mate Barry, bringing you another splendid episode of The Bahnyard. We still haven't written a coherent intro yet, and I don't think we ever will. We are joined tonight by my less than stellar and negligent co-host, Khanage. How are you doing, friend?
I'm doing alright. I just played Marvel. I'm tired, but we're here with a very special episode.
Isn't it funny how, like, we've joked privately about you timestamping the fucking episode literally
I'm doing it on
in the
purpose
intro?
now.
Don't do that!
Why not? It's not like it's the 13th of October.
Because you'll cut me off in the intro at one point, and like
Anyway, we have a guest to introduce.
We do have a guest to introduce. We have one of my favorite people in the FGC. Please introduce yourself, King FaYd.
Hey guys, it's Yusuf. Just Yusuf. Some people know me as FaYd, but you can call me Yusuf. Good old Yusuf. It's the name my parents chose.
I thought
for me.
FaYd was your real name. I thought Yusuf was the gamer tag.
Common mistake. Common mistake, believe it or not. Yeah.
No, I was joking.
Common mistake.
No, obviously, yeah.
I know.
Good.
I know.
To clarify.
Now, you've already said it privately, but can you please explain in words to our wonderful guest FaYd here why you will not be playing Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3
Well, I did
at
say I would
Shadow
not
National
be playing
17?
it. I just said I haven't signed
Listen,
up
listen,
yet.
Your exact wording was no.
Listen. Before you do Khan dirty, like, he did give a very legitimate reason at the end after, like,
No, don't.
Fine.
No, hold on. Hey, shut the fuck up. I'm the fucking guest. Let me fucking talk.
I don't want him to be vindicated. Throw him under the bus.
No. Listen. You know me. I'm a cunt, but I'm a very fair cunt. All right. So I do want to say, after like he gave a very long rap sheet of hella bitch-made excuses, he did give a very strong, legitimate, like proper answer as to why he doesn't want to play. And I'm like, man, like that's a very legit answer.
It's alright.
So,
I'll sign up. I'll sign up.
Oh, so
sign up.
now you
You know
want to
what?
sign up.
Nah, the other Marvel guys, they were like, you have to sign up. You have to play. We'll be disappointed in you if you don't play. You have to play.
Right, so I've told you to sign up for shit and you won't do it, yet they tell you to do it.
Because I don't have the
and
money
then
to
you'll do
sign
it.
up for
Listen.
OHN. Now.
Listen, come through. I'll pay for your shit, and then if you feel that you don't want to
don't
play
pay.
on the
Don't-
day,
I'll do it.
I'll still take the free entry if you're offering.
Give it to Barry.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll
you're
still
already
take it
done.
because unlike Colin, I'm actually good at fighting games.
What? Did I beat you in the KI thing we played?
No, don't worry about it. Ignore it.
What do you mean?
That was a non-canon
happened.
match. I felt bad for you.
Okay.
I
Anyway,
let
we
you
have,
win.
Anyway,
It's like a
what's
Make-A-Wish
the topic
thing.
of today?
Look, don't get me wrong. I have flown to majors before and not competed, but it was more so because there were no games that
Yeah.
I played at the time that were being held at the major. I just went to support. But to me personally, I'm like, dude, like you're gonna spend all the money
Might
for
as well.
flights, for accommodation, for even venue fee. Like that extra $10 is really not gonna
You're
break
right.
the bank. Plus, you can literally get there and be like, nah, I'm not feeling it, and then not play. Like, will people whisper behind your back?
I'll sign up. I'll sign
words?
up.
Realistically,
But,
if there's like a
Why not?
prize, if there's like a prize poll for like Marvel, you'll probably win money back anyway.
I didn't know that. I don't know if there is one. But
Who
I'll
would
sign
beat
up.
you at this point?
Many people.
Listen. All I'm gonna say, Alex is doing a lot of great
He
things
is.
for Marvel, and it's gonna be worth it. For like, I don't want to give away too. I don't know how much he said because I don't really read Discord
Yeah.
servers or like for anything like that. So I don't know how much he's given away from what he's doing, but he's cooking up something.
The
very,
wanted
very
poster.
nice
We
for
just
Marvel.
announced
So-
that. Timestamp.
Oh, fair enough. There's even more. There's even more. So
I love
but
it
yeah,
when
like,
Khan timestamps.
it's gonna be it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So
I'll
you
sign
know,
up.
it's gonna
Everyone,
be-
if you heard that, sign up.
And Alex is an absolute fucking sick guy. Like such a
Shout outs to
gentleman.
Alex.
So, you know,
Shout out Dental Plan.
Do it
Give them a
for
follow.
Alex, man.
Twitch.tv/Khanage.
Hell yeah.
Well, before we jump into the topic,
What is the topic? I forgot.
Give us a little bit of insight as to who FaYd is. What have you done? What's your story, per se?
So I've been in the Australian FGC for a while now. I started off with Tekken back in 2005. Yeah. So and
That Tekken 5?
I used to Tekken 5.0. to be
Hell
specific.
yeah,
Yeah. On the PlayStation
Yes.
2.
motherfucker!
I know many people might be like, get the fuck out of here, so there's no such thing as PlayStation.
It started at PS4.
I know that because it's literally sitting on top of my closet right now in a bag.
Hey,
So yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, and I used to play with my friends, and you know we used to be competitive and whatnot, but we didn't know anything about the game mechanics. And then one time we were watching a movie at George Street Cinemas, and we went to Galaxy World, which many people do not even know what the fuck that is.
God, I miss
Arcade.
Galaxy World so
There's-
fucking much, dude.
Yeah, and then we saw people who had an idea how to play the game playing, and then they did juggles, and then we were like, "What the fuck? You can hit people in the air!" and then, which is like it was like a brand new content. Like they were moving so quick, and they were like, "How are they gliding on the ground like that? It's wild." And then yeah, I just went home, and then I think I typed in something like Tekken combos or just Tekken juggles or some shit like that in Google, and then the first search was Tekken Zaibatsu. Yeah, which again, they're all forums that used to be run by this guy named Castell from America. A few years ago they got archived. Like the guys like paid too much for the servers, and forums dead. You know, so
Thank you,
yeah.
Discord.
So that's where
Thank you, Discord. Yeah.
Discord and Twitter essentially.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then I went to Tekken Zaibatsu, and then started reading a bit more. I'm like, oh, like there's notations, there's juggles, stuff like that. And then yeah, I just got hooked, and then started playing. And then I actually went to a tournament in that year as well. It was actually OHN 2005 was the first tournament ever. Yeah, and then you know you go to a tournament, and you know you want to talk about drugs. I'm pretty sure there is no worse of a drug than a fucking FGC major. Like that shit is the most addictive shit on earth, hands down. And then you get to experience that once, and you're like, oh, this is a great fucking feeling. I want to do that as many times as I can. And then you know started coming out to the arcade, to the weekly meetups, whatever, and all that. And then within a year, like just over a year, I also started TOing, because back then there used to be these two guys that used to TO, and then they both had to stop at the same time for totally different reasons. And then myself and another guy were like, all right, teach us how to run a bracket, and then we'll start TOing. And then myself and another guy who used to go by the name of Savos, which I'm sure literally no one's gonna remember him. He was a Marak player, international student from Indonesia.
Wow.
And then we started TOing, and then his student visa expired, and they had to go back to Indonesia. And then I was like, well, I guess I'm TOing by myself. So that was in 2006.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
then just been TOing. Yes.
Poor man.
And then just been TOing as well. I was 18.
Wow.
I started TOing at
Fucking hell.
18. And in 3 months, I'll be 36, which is double
Damn.
18.
Holy
Half your
shit!
life.
And it's still going.
That's good.
So
You can't leave, dude.
So yeah,
That's really good or really sad.
I know,
depending
man.
On your outlook, because TOs do not get anything.
that's actually very, very accurate. That's actually a very accurate way
Yeah.
to put it up.
Did you at least get your
And
yacht?
excuse me, sir. It's
Ah,
yachts. There's multiple.
My apologies for the lack of plural. Please, may my
Yes, seven.
may my transgressions be swift.
Yeah, and then yeah, started helping out with a smaller scale. Then got involved with next year's OHN, and then Yeah, here we are, 2023.
You hit rock bottom. You're on the
and
barnyard. Look where look where you ended up.
I was just about to say, I am now more miserable
This
than
is
I
the
was.
this is the Australian FGC equivalent of like Howard Stern, but like nowadays. Not in the peak prime of the early 2000s. This is where
fastest prime balding.
this is where icons come to die.
Yeah.
This is like just before they reach the light at the end of
Tekken,
the tunnel.
not even
Like,
once.
This is where we are. Yeah. And yeah.
Have you even
And
played
you've done a
Tekken
lot
8?
of globetrotting yourself, so you've managed to like it's not just Australian events you've managed to hit up at. Like I wouldn't say like TOing internationally, but you have like been around the block and seen
I
some
haven't
shit.
TO'd internationally. I have helped other like scenes, like all Australian, never international. Like behind the scenes with setups and guidance and different states throughout the years. But I've never done anything on a TO level internationally. I have hit up a few countries in my travels to compete. Where have I been? I've been to Eva.
Hey.
So that was my last time. I went this year.
You're at, that was
this
the
my
big
50th.
Marvel 3 one, right?
Yeah, that was
Fuck.
big. To be honest with you, it was like even the look. I'm not gonna. This might be actually. I don't think this is too much of a hot take. I felt the top 8 was a bit not as hype as some might have thought.
Yeah, Zero
I mean,
Crime Mirrors was
there
horrible.
Yeah, Zero is like Zero is the best character in the game.
Yeah, the
like,
meta solved.
You pick who's gonna win, obviously.
The meta solved. Yeah.
like yeah, I don't know if you can say the meta is like proper solved, especially in games deep as Marvel, but like Zero is the best character in the
Yeah.
game. You can pose an argument Morrigan might be, and I'm all for it. Like she is also a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But
Zero is.
yeah, just Zero. Like no one watches Zero and be like, God damn, did you see that
So
Zero
hype.
stuff? Oh fuck, that is so exciting. That is so exciting. He's like, even though there's like a plethora of like Magneto, like that
He's
character
hype.
just
He's hype.
oozes swag and hype and just
Yeah.
such an enthralling character. Also, I know this is a bit of a segue. I genuinely believe, in my opinion, Magneto from Marvel 3 is the greatest fighting game character.
Wow.
This is my personal opinion. In out of all fighting games ever.
Khan, how do you
It's
weigh
not
in on that? As someone, I don't
The
feel I can
best
really weigh in on that on
fighting
account of
game
I'm
ever.
garbage at Marvel.
Of all time.
It just the character's too swag, has such a pull for his name, and the way you play the character in a game like Marvel, it is the epitome of player creativity. Because you watch all these Magneto players, and even though there are so many of them, because Magneto is such a great character, there are no two similar Magnetos. There are no
of
two similar
creativity.
You watch someone like, for example, like Ray, who is always in your fucking ass
Yeah.
and just does not let you
on
fucking
you.
breathe. And you're like, holy shit, like Ray, like please, like let me press a button. And then watch someone like fucking F-Champ, and he wants nothing to do with you. Like he wants to keep you as far as he can from you as he can. And they're both using the same character, but like it just translates so well.
Because he's got a really
player
fucking
has,
versatile
like-
kit as well.
Very fast as well.
He is. He's got such a like his space control is amazing. His movement is
His
like
movement's
no
godlike.
other. And he's just hype. It's hype. It's just like I feel like he's the epitome of player creativity in a fighting game. My personal opinion. I know this is a very subjective topic. And to
You
be
asked me
honest-
if I agree, Barry.
But yeah.
I think that look, it's not like I have a list of characters that I think are like super creative, blah blah. But Magneto definitely would be up there. I agree with FaYd. Like, a lot of player expression, a lot of variety with Magneto. He has a lot of ways to approach combos. I might have a B&B that does good damage that might be completely different to FaYd's B&B. They both will get the job done, and they work in different situations where they're completely different. He's
But
very
one's more
versatile
comfy
character.
for you, and that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, he's a cool character. He has some flaws, but
He's
he's
a great
S tier. He's S tier.
Of course. 100%. And that's also part of the reason why he's more appealing, because he has these flaws. You know what I mean? Like no one wants like a toad. Like no one wants his character to be as good as Zero. Like that's just too
Yeah,
military.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, how do you name one thing that's bad about Zero? Like you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
Like,
I know.
You know what I mean? I feel that's part of the reason why it takes away from his. He's got low health, but like he gives a fuck. Like
Low
doesn't
health
matter,
means
he's a
fuck
one-touch
all if
character.
you're not being touched.
Yeah,
Everyone
everyone,
dies-
everyone
yeah,
has
everyone
low
dies
health
in
in
one touch in
Marvel.
Marvel.
In one hit. So it doesn't really matter.
If we're applying
So,
that Marvel
yeah.
Infinite tournament that they did, where like you can get stones to get
Oh
like
my
the first
goodness.
hit, fucking low health means nothing in that.
Do that at OHN.
Yeah.
Do that
Sorry?
at OHN. You
Oh god, I would
whoever
fucking
gets
pay
head
to
gets the
see
first
that
hit.
shit.
What if you drop the combo?
You would get fucking eaten alive by that crowd if you did that shit. Like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
you've won the perk to get like first hit, and you drop it.
It's like LMHS, you drop it.
You fucking dumb cunt.
Anyway, we have a topic.
So we got a pretty juicy
I
topic.
went to we went to EVA America. I've been to Philippines,
Nice.
Rev Major. I've been to Thailand for TWT finals. I've played in Hong Kong. I've played in Japan at Joybox, which used to be the holy Mecca arcade for Tekken before Green Arcade was Green Arcade, and also went to Korea. I played at Green Arcade. Where else have I been? I've been. I know Hawaii is kind of technically North America, but I've also been Hawaii. I've been to Europe. Only UK though. I played the Soul Calibur scene
Damn.
and the Tekken scene. New Zealand, of course.
Hey.
You know. I have been to Hong Kong as well, but not for a tournament. But I did play at the arcade.
You've been everywhere.
I think that's about it. I think not bad. You know, I mean, you think after 18 years in the fucking scene, like I've been in 5 places, right? So,
Well,
yeah.
speaking before we really dig into the topic, I need you to tell this particular story, and it's a story that you've told me.
What story? I've told you. many
I
stories.
need this specific one. Do you remember the K-Brad story you told me?
Again, I've told you
The
many.
particular one where there was a guy at a local who was going on about how K-Brad was his like favorite player.
You mean about what's his name? Roach.
I think so, yeah.
Tell us the
So
story.
we were. So shout outs to
Roach.
From WA first of all. He's a upcoming kid. He's been in the scene for a few years, but he's definitely the best player in Perth at the moment, and he just continues to improve. We were at a event that shall not be named because I don't want to dignify them by giving them a name. But you know me, I try to support. You know, any.
Take that.
event
Shout outs to
community.
undignified name.
Yeah, so we happened to be, I think, in Wollongong for the event, and Roach was there, and I was there, saying hi to everyone, being the usual social butterfly that I am, and then I don't know how we got to talking, and then Roach was like, oh man, like, I don't know about if I told you, but I know like you and K-Brad close, but he's actually like my absolute favorite FGC person, like hands down. I love that guy so much. I'm like, K-Brad? He's like, yeah, K-Brad. I'm like, hold up, give me a second. And then I literally pull out my phone and I call K-Brad like right in front of him. He's literally like, I'm like, hold up, bro. K-Brad answers, he's like, what's up, boo? I'm like, what's up, bro? What's happening? He's like, nothing much, just about to have lunch. I'm in Mexico. I'm like, alright, I'm gonna need you to take 2 minutes out of your lunch and just say hi to my man. His name is Roach. He's literally your biggest fan. He's like, alright, fair. And I just pass on my phone to Roach. I'm like, here, say hi to K-Brad. And the guy was literally like, sorry to do Roach dirty, but he was literally shaking.
That's
like,
awesome.
Literally. And then he said his hello, caught up with K-Brad, and he's like, oh, it was good. And then, he just passed me, he spoke to me for like, I don't know, like 3-4 minutes, wasn't that long. Passes me back his phone, my phone. And then I'm like, alright, bro, that's all, thank you, enjoy your lunch. She's like, alright, anytime. And that was it.
That's awesome. That's
so
funny.
fucking cute, though.
That's wholesome. It's great.
I love that shit. I love that
Good to
shit.
meet K-Brad.
Listen, I'm gonna go one step further and tell you something that I haven't told anyone. This is literally a Bahnyard exclusive.
Ooh.
We're gonna announce it in the next few days, but you guys get to be the first people to know about it. Since you mentioned it, Lou. K-Brad is coming.
Oh no! I heard
Fuck
Denzel
yeah.
Bryan say that as like a joke or whatever, and then it might have been the
OHN could possibly not get any more based.
He's
than
going
it
to
already
OHN?
is. This is fucked.
He literally, like, when he confirmed with me, he's like, I just want you to know I am coming just to get drunk with people.
fuck yeah.
He's like, that is my excuse. I'm like, yes, obviously, everyone knows this. Like, you don't need to tell me this. I was like, alright, cool.
As long as the information
then, like,
has been disclosed.
That's
yeah.
sick.
And then he pauses for a little bit, and then he's like, I might just practice up Strive just the whole time. I'm like, alright, you do that.
I heard he plays Marvel.
He'll
yeah,
definitely play Marvel
He
3.
entered it at EVA. I'm assuming he'll 100% enter Marvel, Strive, and SF6.
Yeah.
Like
And Kamen Rider.
if he's fucking with MK, if he's if he's fucking with MK, which I don't think he is, he might enter MK because he likes MK, but because he only plays Sonya, so I don't know who he might play. She's there as a cameo, but
he'll just pick a random character and
games is
only
fine.
use the cameos, and that's it.
yeah. She's like a bottom 3.
Jesus Christ, really?
I gotta say, we have a
Yeah,
topic
she's
to
not
get to.
good.
We're 20 minutes in, but I have to ask you, how did you meet K-Brad like that? Like, how did that all come about?
Honestly, this is literally how it went down. It was at I forgot.
This motherfucker knows everybody, dude.
Was that some event?
It was either BAM or
Okay.
Shadowloo Showdown. I think it was BAM. I'm pretty sure it was BAM. I'm like 99.999% sure it was at BAM one year, and you know K-Brad was there. You know he's a Street Fighter player. I've never met the guy or nothing.
Sick dog.
And then
That wasn't my impersonation.
my sick dog. yeah. Yaps does a
I've
real
heard Yaps,
mean
yeah.
K-Brad impersonation, by the way. Yeah. And then like so Street Fighter crew was like on close to the Tekken crew, and they were talking, and then K-Brad was literally trying to talk to them. He was like, guys, I'm trying to drink. Why do none of y'all want to drink? And they're like, oh no, like you know, they ain't gonna go home. Tournament tomorrow, blah blah blah. And then I just overheat. I've never spoken to K-Brad like at all, and I just hear him trying to get drinks, you know, and like no one wants to drink. I'm like, so I literally just go up to him. I'm like, hey man, I'm not a Street Fighter player. I'm a Tekken guy, but we're about to head out now to get some drinks. If you want to come with us, you're more than welcome to. He's like, oh for real? I'm like, yeah, 100%. He's like, all right, done. And that's it. He just went out with us, and then from then he extended his trip, and he was like, I'm gonna come through Sydney. He came through Sydney. He stayed over my house for a week. My mom cooked him breakfast, like you know, and shit. And now he knows my family, and you know we hang out all the time. Well, in the same venue, we chill. Like, he literally paid for my hotel.
Oh shit, really?
I wasn't gonna go. Yeah, I wasn't gonna go. And then as soon as they announced Marvel, I'm like, fuck, this is gonna be like the last year for Marvel.
I thought of something.
I want to go.
I thought of something. Yusuf.
Sorry. Yeah, what's up?
We will be forever indebted to you if you can convince K-Brad to come on the Bahnyard.
I will ask him because I will actually.
Oh shit!
And if he can squeeze you in, he will, because I actually don't know. I know when he lands. I don't know when he leaves.
This works really well for our idea that we have. That I'm actually gonna. I'll drop now.
Yeah, drop it.
So me and Khan had one of the worst ideas ever.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bring the laptop to OHN. I'm gonna bring my boom arm, and we're gonna properly set up at a table, and we're just gonna record a live episode during the fucking event.
I think that's.
We're just gonna stand, and anyone who walks past, fuck it, just get on in this shit.
The TO in me is gonna tell you to do that on a Friday because that's
Easy.
So what you're saying is do it on Saturday in the middle of pools.
Thinks.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want me to literally ramp up, then yes, do it on Saturday while pools are playing.
Damn, our
do it on
first
Sunday
live
during
video
Sunday.
recorded episode. Old Mate Barry getting his shit kicked in. Let's go.
Spinning round.
Oh.
And yeah. So I legit, because I had like no plans to go Evo this year, like no plans, none. I'm like, tickets too expensive, blah blah blah. Whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna go next year. It's gonna be like, you know, new Tekken, new Project L probably. You know, I'm like, I'll go support next year. And then that announced Marvel, I'm like, fuck, it's like retro game, which means like it's only going this year. It's gonna be this year. Like I want to go, I want to support. And then I'm like, man, and like I was looking up tickets. I was like, you know, I'm just gonna message K-Brad. I'm like, if you can hook me up, I'll go. I'm like, listen, bro, I had no plans coming Evo this year. If I was to get my ass there, can you sort me out with accommodation? And then he replies something along the lines, bro, why are you even asking me this stupid question? And I was like, alright, no.
I want to meet
So
K-Brad.
that was it.
He's rad.
genuinely
He's hella
like
cool.
we be like, because I stayed with him at Evo.
Yeah.
This episode turned out a K-Brad.
K-Brad's awesome.
This generally happens anytime
like-
K-Brad's brought up.
Like we be walking around, you know, the like casino floor or whatever, and like every single person that walks up to K-Brad is like, hey man, can I have a picture? Can I say or whatever? Like,
I
he
wanna
never
do that,
says
but
no
I'm
to
too
no.
nervous.
Like he's genuinely like such a nice guy, and like that's why like people like love him so much and, you know, gravitate towards him.
He's
Like,
just a guy.
genuinely
Like,
nice guy. He's literally the homie.
Like I
always.
think that's like I think he is the prime example of like because you get a lot of the newer guys coming into the FGC and shit when they go to majors. I'm guilty of this too because at my first OHN, which was 15, I think. You had like you had all the like fucking I can't remember which Tekken players were there. I know there was like Saint and shit. And I was still in that like fanboy mode where I'm like, oh, I really want to go get photos of them because I fucking love these guys are really cool. But it's that like, I don't know, And then there was the year that it was a year or two after when K-Brad was at BAM, and I just walked up and just had a chat with him because I'm like, nah, he's just a dude, and he was really chill. He just talked to me like I'm a guy. Like these newer guys just got to learn that
really
they're just
cool.
people. Just have a chat.
Just pick your time. Obviously, don't wait for them to lose like a high, state match.
It's spatial awareness
to
there.
qualify to like top 16 or something.
Damn, I just noticed you got really badly fucked on stage. Can I get a photo with you?
Yeah, can you sign
Yeah,
this?
like just pick your time. Yeah. This year at Evo, K-Rad, I don't know if he got knocked into losers or out of Street Fighter 6 by this Chem player. And he was mad salty, and then as soon as he lost, this guy went up to him for a picture and an autograph. And then, actually, K-Rad made a tweet about it. You can look for it. K-Rad legit was like, yeah, sure, my dude, it's fine. It's like he was smiling. He spoke to the guy. He took a picture with him, and then proceeded to talk to the guy for about half an hour about why Ken is such a busted character and how much he hates him.
Preach, Ken is
And then he made the guy literally stand there for like 30 minutes while K-Rad was just complaining. Complaining about Ken. He's like, you want to disturb me right after I lost a match and I'm salty? That's fine, but then you have to let me de-stress on your fucking ass. And I'm like, that seems fair.
That's a fair trade. That's a
Ken is busted rant.
It's that whole fucking like I give you this, you give me this. Like I give you photo, you listen to my trauma.
I'll scratch yours.
You know the Thanos meme of he's holding the dagger?
Yeah.
The dagger perfectly balanced as all things should be.
Oh shit. Well, today's episode that we're finally going to get into now,
27
halfway
minutes
through,
in.
it's a new record. One of these days we're going to get a guest and start getting into the topic right at the end. That's my new personal goal.
Yes.
Today's episode is entitled, Is It Too Late to Sign Up for the Bracket? Now, the theming of this...
Why is Dion's face flashing in my head?
He's got fucking Vietnam flashbacks.
This is the PTSD.
Speaking of Vietnam, that's BK as well. Like Dion and BK.
That's Dion and BK fucking...
Offenders.
That's trigger points right there for you.
Yeah.
But so mainly because you are the TO. Like people, it goes without saying. Like we think of TOs in our community. You're the first one we go to. Myself and Khan are also like pretty active TOs, but we're not at like. I wouldn't say we're anywhere close to where you're at. As a TO, give us some juicy TO stories, please. Give me. Anything I need to know these because at the end of the day, mine aren't that great, and I know Khan's aren't that great. They might be, but I also, unless he's got something really good, I don't care.
Oh no, we have.
I think. I'm trying to think. Alright, there's a few. I've told this story many times. I just like telling it because I feel it's like a. Yeah, it's like a one. I don't think anyone else could have, but like. Would have done what I was planning to do. Anyway, so there was one OHN, I think it was first year of Street Fighter 5, if my memory serves me correct. So I want to say it was 2016.
2016, yeah.
And and Daigo was in attendance. And we had this guy, his name is Yang, old school. He's a Marvel 2 player. He's one of the greatest bracket runners, by the way, of all time. He's great. He's like no bullshit guy. I love Yang. He doesn't play no more. He's too busy making a lot of money. So
that's the one thing us in the FGC don't do.
Yeah.
I know. Speak for yourself, losers. I'm about to buy my 13th yacht.
We
bitches.
only have one.
So Yang is calling Daigo. He's like, Daigo, versus whatever.
Yeah.
Calling blah 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 over and over and over. Daigo's no show. And then Yang is getting genuinely flustered, and Yang never gets flustered. Like he is an iron fortress. And I could see him because I'm running Tekken. It was like perpendicular to each other. So there's a long row of Tekken, and then at the end of that road is where Street Fighter is, and he's like right there at the corner, and I can see him just like get kind of pacing up and down. And he's calling Daigo, and then he just looks at me and then like shrugs, like I don't know what the fuck to do. And then so I walk down to him, I'm like, what's up? He's like, bro, I've been calling Daigo for like 15-20 minutes, like, and he hasn't shown up to his pool, and you know, I don't know what to do. I'm like, alright, send him to losers. And he just looks at me as if I said, alright, let's go run over some babies in the streets. And then I'm like, what's wrong? And then he's like, bro, it's Daigo. I'm like, yeah, but he's late to his match. He's like, but it's Daigo. I'm like,
and
bro, he's someone who is late for his match. Send him to losers. I don't understand. And then he's like, alright, I guess I'll send him to losers. And then as he was like, you know, doing it, we see Charmaine, shout out to Charmaine, aka PXC. She used to help us run OG, and she's literally like running from the main entrance. She can like she locked eyes with us, and she's running, literally waving her hands in the air like as if signaling us to stop. And then she's running at us, and then she gets to us and she's out of breath, and then she's like, don't DQ Daigo, don't send him to losers. And then I'm like, why? She goes, so what happened is Daigo's manager had actually asked us if he can start his pool. I think it was like after 2 p.m. And she's like, he usually gets like really jet lagged after he flies. So she's like, is it possible just to put him in a later slot if you know that doesn't affect? And we're like, yeah, that's fine. Like the seating can stay work and it doesn't really affect the scheduling. That's fine. We can put him in a later pool. Now, when the Street Fighter TOs did the pools, they just didn't put him in a later pool. Like they kept the seating, obviously, they just didn't put him in a later pool. And then she's like, don't. It just, we fucked up. We said we're gonna put him in a 2 p.m. pool, but it's a 1 p.m. now. So don't DQ him. It's our fuck up. She's like, I sent Henry to his hotel room to tell him, if you can, like, you know, sorry for this whole thing, but can you please maybe like, if you can get ready soon and come down, like, you know, we need to run this pool. And yeah, like Henry actually went up to his hotel room. Doug was actually like, had just finished showering. He was like, sorry to bother you. This is the situation. If is alright with you. And Doug was like a true gentleman. He was like, yeah, that's fine. I pull my clothes on and I come down.
That's good.
And then yeah, so yeah, I almost sent Daigo to losers, but
that is the ultimate. That's the ultimate.
That's the
flex
moral
right
of the
there.
story. Don't die.
I almost DQ'd Daigo, but like it wasn't meant to be.
It's like a Tao novel. I almost
Nearly
DQ'd Daigo.
nearly defanged the beast himself.
I know.
I would have wrote a book on this shit. I would have called it The Will to Keep.
Will to keep DQing, yes.
But yeah, the stars didn't line.
Did he win the bracket?
He did.
He ended up. I'm pretty
Grand
sure.
Finals was fucking. I think Grand Finals was Daigo and K-Brad, wasn't it? Because I remember I was meant to be there that year. I wasn't playing, but I was meant to go there with a friend on a spectator pass because he was writing for his like community newspaper or some shit. And I think I got really sick beforehand, and I was like, well, I might go next year. I don't know. And now look at me now, boys. Look at me now.
Yeah, knee deep in this FGC shit.
Please, for the love of God, somebody send me a lifeline. All I have is Khan and a Steam library that's full of shit.
That's horrible. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
That OHN was also a great meme came out of it that even like Flo and other American players tweeted about it. One of the players from Sydney, Yunus, which you guys might know him. He in season 1 Street Fighter 6, he was a Chun-Li main.
Wait, Street Fighter 6?
And who was in Street Fighter 5. He was a Chun-Li main who is like top 3 characters. Season 1. It was like by far like her, Ryu and Mika, like they were definitely the like
fucking
3 best
season 1 Mika. Jesus,
season 1 Mika, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus Christ.
I know. And she was playing Marvel in this.
The fucking invisible wall shit like mid-screen was so
medium
fucking
punch, medium punch, one medium punch. Anyway, yeah.
So he's a Chun-Li man, a top 3 character with a very busted move that dictates neutral with her air legs. Anyway, and he went up against K-Brad. We know K-Brad. He's kind of good
Yeah.
at Street Fighter, And then Yunus had the fucking genius idea for some reason of deciding to pick Geef against because it's meant to be, I don't know, on theory or on paper, it's like a bad matchup against for Cammy, but then ends up being absolutely anal blasted by K-Brad.
Fucking
And
idiot.
then somehow word got to America that this guy is actually a Chun main, but for some fucked up reason decided to be Geef. And he actually got blasted for it on Twitter. I remember Flo distinctively tweeting about it, and a couple other American players going, "Why the fuck would you do that? It just makes no sense."
He will never live this down.
Wait, you said it was Eunice. So is he from New South Wales?
He's New South Wales, yeah.
Does he play Marvel too? I think I know him.
He plays everything.
He might. He plays everything.
I think I know him.
He's naturally. The thing with Eunice, he's naturally talented at fighting games. He can pick up any. Not Tekken. No, and I'm not saying that just to discredit him. Just not Tekken, because I've played him many times in Tekken. Every time he thinks, "I got Yusuf," no, and I am horrendous at fighting games. But any 2D game, he's naturally gifted and understands it very quick. But the thing with him, he is also the laziest motherfucker in existence. So he week 1 up until month 1 of a new fighting game, he's really, really good. But then as soon as that time period finishes and he doesn't study, he just tries to let his natural talent and plus gimmicks get him his W's. But once that gets that figured out and players start improving, he just kind of shoots down the tier list of players. So that's Yunus' biggest weakness. He's just
I remember on launch for Soul Calibur 6, I remember he was playing Geralt, and he was the bane of my fucking existence in year 1 of that game. Because he's so the problem is he's such a nice guy, and he just plays like a complete cunt. And
Yunus is a nice guy. He just got a quiet voice.
He's such a sweetheart. I just wish he wouldn't pick characters that I struggle with.
I would bash his ass with a baseball. That guy.
Nice.
Going back to the Daigo story there with the whole DQ, so you get a lot of newer TOs, right? And this sort of goes in line with that whole oh wait, what? Can we do that? You get a lot of those newer TOs who tend to get really nervous at the idea of having to DQ a top player, and there's this whole stigma behind do I want to offset the top players and shit. How as someone who's been doing this for as long as you have, how do you break through that? For someone who is aspiring to, because I like to think I've learnt all my TO shit from you. Anyone and people who see me TO, they know I do pretty fucking. I'm the kind of guy who's literally just shoot him, fuck him off. I've learned that from you, and I get shit done. But there are those people that are oh, I don't know, we should hold it up, and I don't want to DQ that guy because I want to be the nice one. How do you break through that? Because you never. A lot of new TOs don't really know this. Evidently, you're never gonna get to the level where you need to be by pussyfooting and babying these people. How do we break that stigma
at some point?
Yeah, so there's 2 points that come to my mind straight away that I can tell you. First of all, it's understandable being that type of TO when you first start, because people who are trying to TO, most times they're trying to do it from a place of love and passion, and they're hey, I want to help out. So because the main idea in their head is I want to help out, that kind of unfortunately ends up being a narrow, gives them a narrow-minded approach to things, because that's very subjective, the term I want to help out, because you can help out in so many different ways. There isn't a one clear-cut answer. So they think if I hold up the bracket so I can accommodate to this top player, I'm being nice, I'm helping out. Now this is where it ties in. So it's understandable, it's fine, it's kind of a rite of passage in a way, where newer TOs, they think by being nice that they're helping out. But this is where it ties down for the second point. You holding up that bracket for that one player, you're literally fucking over not everyone, but almost everyone else, because that one match actually hinges so heavily on the flow of the bracket, and that could have cascading effect if that match doesn't run, then you can fuck up, say, another person who might have to play like 4 or 5 matches in a row if they're in winners bracket, and then that takes its toll on you. Or like, you know, there's other players who are playing in other games where they can't like keep going back and forth between that. They need that much to get done so they can go sort something out in another game. So essentially, you trying to help out, you're actually doing the opposite of helping out. You're actually not helping out at all. Matter of fact, you end up becoming, as harsh as that might be, you end up becoming the problem. Like, you end up becoming the thing that you're trying to solve. So,
because I remember, like,
I just want to add. I just want to add one last thing. Just with like, I feel with everything in life, there's never a black and white answer unless you're dealing with, you know, like math problems. Then, you know, it's like 2 + 2 is always 4. Like, that's it. It's clear cut answer. Like, even something like in functions, there's 2 answers sometimes. You know what I mean? In maths, but you know, I'm just giving like a general example. Like, I feel like there's never like a clear cut black and white answer. Like, of course, you have to play things by ear, and like you have to take into consideration, like, is it a weekly? Is it a monthly? Is it a major? You know, who's there? Like, how badly is it gonna affect? Like, of course, there's all these other variants, but then, as a rule of thumb, and I don't know how to say, like, you know, you gotta like look at it from a very bigger picture kind of perspective. Like, you know, that one person, like, regardless of their name, regardless of their, you know, Daigo Umehara or, you know, Naruto X Sakura 69 XXX, you know,
future BAM champion,
you know, like, you know what I mean, like, regardless who the person is in the bracket, like, certain rules like must be adhered to, like, it just, because it just helps everything flow so much better. And again, with everything, like, it just all comes down to experience. Like, you know, like, that's the thing, when you first start, like, that's your approach to things because you don't know better, which is like, that's fine. Like, I can't really fault someone who's helping run their first, like, I don't know, fucking, what's the game, like say like a small
Kamen Rider
like
on Wii.
Kamen Rider superhero, super climax heroes,
like Shrek Super Slam or whatever.
Surely that's an origin.
So that game was actually mad fun, by the way. Yeah, like the first time, and because they don't have the experience, but like that becomes a way bigger problem. Like when you're someone who's been dealing for, like, say, you know, 5 years, 10 years or something like that, and you still doing that kind of stuff, then that's like a big no. Like, no, dude, like, you should have learned by now. Like, that's not on. But yeah, like, yeah, just with everything, there's always give and take. But yeah, people learn. Experience is the greatest teacher. That saying holds true.
You're ultimately
always.
not going to make everybody happy. Like, at the end of the day, there's always going to be that one person who goes on fucking Twitter after the event and they're just like, oh, well, this was done wrong.
I said this one time many years ago. Like, that was in my, like, I think it was 2012 or something like that, because 2012 I feel is the year. It is the year for me where I'm like, I really don't want to compete no more, like, as much as I want to. I just want to, like, I am Yusuf the TO now, not Yusuf the competitor. I think it was 2012, and I think we ran OHN and it was great and everything, and then, but like, some people still had some negatives, and I feel like my approach kind of to TOing changed a bit, because I used to always be like, everyone need to be, you know, looked after, everyone needs to be catered to, this needs to be the best event for every single person there. These are unrealistic expectations. Like I know, like, at heart, I always, of course, I want every single person to be happy and have a great time, and that's always, like, you know, the driving force behind, you know, any event I put out. But at the end of the day, I understand you can never please everyone. Like, you can never, like, I can run OHN and have, like, every person, like, wins $1 million just for fucking attending. Like, you pay your flight tickets, you come through, as soon as you walk through the door, what's your bank details? I'm transferring $1 million.
And someone's gonna go online afterwards
and then
be
someone's
like, I had
gonna
to pay tax
go,
on
oh,
that.
but it was only 1 million. You know, it could. Why didn't I make it 2 million? You know what I mean? Like, there will always be some person who will find something to complain about your event, and that goes, like always. So once I, like, that kind of, like, it was a light bulb moment for me. I'm like, all right, I can't keep thinking I need to cater my event for every single person and make every single person happy. I'm like, I need to cater my event for as many people as I can, as opposed to everyone, as many people as possible. So, and that kind of changed a bit my outlook on how Tio.
Well,
and how
ultimately,
it-
like,
how it-
that's OHN 15 was run as well as it was, and that's why I came back for more. Like, ultimately, and I'm pretty sure there were people there that had problems with that. Like,
there's people there that always
yeah,
have
like you're
problems
never
with
gonna
it.
make everyone happy.
That's what
it's,
that's
it's physically
Yeah.
impossible. But that being said, like as I said, it was my first ever major, and I like you said earlier, like I caught that bug. Like the bug was there because it was run so well and everyone was so welcoming. I remember after Action, I remember after Canberra, and I can't remember. I think it was during the event on the Sunday, and there was this big fucking Twitter thread going on about how like, oh, this event was the worst fucking event I've ever been to, and rada. Here are the reasons why. And I'm just like, these are all reasons that you could have just brought up with someone like on the fucking day. Like, it's unrealistic to think you're gonna make everyone happy, and that I reckon is like arguably one of the biggest points of burnout. And I remember a bit of advice that you gave me. I can't remember if it was during like the hold forward era or something, where I think it was. Can't remember the exact wording. You might have to correct me, but I think it was something on the lines of "passion only gets you so far."
Yeah, that's actually from Rick Tahado, which
yeah.
is, I know it's kind of like, I'm a massive Rick simp.
Shout outs
like,
to Rick.
Like I know people have, oh, he's my favorite player, or this player is my favorite player. I have TOs that I'm like I simp for, because that's how my brain works. And Rick is like
I got
he's on
so
a
much respect
pedestal
for that
of his own, like,
motherfucker.
yeah, like he is the greatest. And fortunately for me, I got to have a sit down with him at TWT finals back in 2019. It was just like a one-on-one, like there was a break in the event, and I just want to go up and talk to him just to see what's up. And he was just chilling at the edge of the stage, and I just went up and introduced myself, like, hey man, I'm Yusuf from Sydney, Australia, like at TO Games, blah blah blah, big fan of yours. And then we just sat down, and then he just kind of like gave me I wouldn't say advice, just kind of like explain things kind of from his perspective as someone who is who he is and does what he does. And it was great. He's such a down to earth
Well,
guy.
he's got
And-
that much backing
yeah,
behind him that like he's one of the guys to learn from, I'd reckon.
I mean, he became, after Mr. Wizard was gone from the Evo equation.
Whoopsies.
Oh no.
Did I mention a name that I shouldn't?
No,
Yeah,
you're more than welcome to. We'll
You can say whatever you want.
We'll just drag.
Yeah.
Harada, I have been playing the
Yeah.
Tekken 8 cracked beta.
I haven't.
it's pretty fun,
I'm
to be
gonna-
honest.
I have it sitting on my computer.
Yeah.
You can't ban me from the circuit. I
Exactly.
quit.
And he became the Evo. I don't know what the official title is.
CEO, isn't he? He's like
Director
the top
or
dog
whatever.
now.
I'm not sure. I think the Cannon brothers are still the top. I'm not sure, honestly. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, like no one was like, oh, what, Rick? Everyone was like, yeah, makes sense.
Oh, the
Like,
second I
every-
saw his
every single
name there, I
person.
was just like, yeah, this event's in good hands. Like, I was
Yeah,
so
like-
confident at that point.
Yeah. Also, like, to be honest with you, like Mr. Wizard or no Mr. Wizard, like no person is bigger than the event. Like at the end of the day, like you can put on a great event, but like at the end of the day, the event is.
I don't know. Wiz was pretty physically big.
Pretty physical in other ways.
Hey,
I was just gonna settle for the fat joke, but if you want to go the whole 9 yards, go for
Yeah,
gold.
didn't he touch kids or something?
Jesus Christ!
Or am I thinking of the other guy?
It was. That was what he did.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was, yeah, it was him.
That's
yeah.
what
he did.
Yeah, at the arcade, yeah.
I love it how I joke with people.
yeah.
The Khan doesn't have a fucking filter. It's
Because it's
just,
funny, it makes for good content.
he proves it every fucking time.
It's good content, bro.
I love
Good
this. Oh,
content.
true. We do it for the content. Do it for the
content.
vine.
Give
But yeah,
us a
there's-
sub. Yeah.
Speaking of the whole passion thing, because like I've noticed, because with the way fighting games are becoming more, with how accessible they are, and the fact that everything's so much shit's online.
Everything's available to you literally before the game even fucking
and that,
comes
but that
out,
also
bro.
means like online
Jesus
tournaments, communities, all that shit. So everyone wants to jump in. Like, so many people have stepped up to the plate as TOs, and so many people. Because I'm currently working with the Team WP Fledgies guys, and like there's a whole team full of people there, and they're all fucking busting their asses. Antiku, there's a whole team there. I know Hold Forward's coming back with Howdy and stuff. The whole team upon team. There's so many people that are gathering to put on events for these people. But in saying that, without that prior knowledge of the fact that passion's only going to carry you something, because there's no, realistically, you are not going to make a paycheck out of this in this particular country unless you're doing something completely groundbreaking. You are not making a paycheck out of this shit, and a lot of these kids genuinely believe that the enthusiasm and love for the game is going to carry them, and
It will,
to a point.
It's hard work.
But then the burnout hits,
is.
and then it's kind of just like, well, fuck my ass, I'm done. Like,
Okay.
like it's how would you combat that per se? Like, what do you, in terms of like offering advice to newer TOs that are like starting out?
Alright. Alright. Look, I have multiple answers to give to this. I don't know, like how serious and unfiltered.
Go ham, brother.
You want me to
Go
Say
ham,
whatever
brother.
you want to say.
So, look, I feel with FGC, especially in a country like Australia, what people need to realize is we are all shit. So shit. Like, at
Based.
everything. We are so bad. Like, people don't understand how bad we are. Like, on an international level. Yeah, like, we're good amongst ourselves. But on an international level, we are so bad. So very bad. And people try to, like, elevate players and put them on pedestals and be like, if I can put out these events for these players and, like, you know, then these big name players, which are not big names, they're just fucking random dudes from, like, Liverpool and fucking Perth and shit,
Yeah.
like, whatever. Like, people focus on the wrong shit, you know? What you need to focus on, these video games are fun. We should play them.
Yeah.
And that's it. Focus on playing the fucking game first and foremost. Make that the foundation of everything. People always focus on the glamour and glitz and everything that comes behind. Like, they focus on step 652 while neglecting step 1 to 651. Like, bro, like, there are steps to this shit. Focus on making the game fun. Focus on making the community an accessible place for people to come out and enjoy. You know, focus on making, you know, places where people can gather and play. Like, that's the shit people need to focus on. Like, as a TO, you should be focusing on the players and the game, not on the
clout.
like status
Yeah.
and clout and shit like that. And that's why I don't give a fuck who you are. You late to a fucking bracket, you go into loser's side. Like, you don't show up, you're DQ'd. Like I'm trying to make the event fun for people. I'm not sitting here pandering to some random fuckwit just because he can hit fucking hard combos in a game. Like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, you know, this is bigger than you. This is bigger than me. We don't matter. You don't matter. I don't matter. Like, only the fun of the game matters. That's it. The fun and the community. That is it. That's all that matters. And if you keep this your focus always, you can't, like, you won't get bored. Like, if I'm thinking every single day and every time I'm trying to run an event, how can I make this event fun for everyone and make sure I can get as many people to come through? I will never get bored from this because I'm focusing on fun and the people that are gonna enjoy the fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I admit that I
But-
fell into that trap a little bit. Like, I'm gonna be
You went Hollywood.
complete. Yeah, no, it was with fucking KI World Cup when me and Rowdy managed to get Australia onto the circuit for it. And I think it was the first event we ran for it, and we had guys like Wheels and shit in like the Twitch chat. And I got hella fucking like, oh man, dude, we made it. Ooh, and like I think it was after the complete shit show that was that circuit that actually helped me realize, it is about the community. It's like, it's not about the fucking like the clout and the glamour and shit. And it's something that I really hope a lot of these newer kids pick up on sooner rather than later, because we are arguably in the best time for fighting games. Like, in terms of how accessible shit
Every
is.
year that passes is a better year than that goes.
Oh shit, yeah.
Look, yes and no. Like, yes, it's better, but there's also like a lot of stuff that I feel we regress on. But I feel overall, it's better. But people come through and then they, from get-go, they're focusing on the wrong shit. Like, you know, like, you know this saying, you can't build a house without
Yeah.
foundation. Like, that, like, people come in and like understand you want to aim for the stars and and all that, and I respect that approach, but like, don't be coming through and be like, all right, how am I gonna build this roof on this house when you haven't done anything else underneath? Like, this roof isn't gonna stay, no matter how fucking well you try to do it. It's not gonna stay. It has nothing to stand on. So, and people come in and they're like, I want to be this like household name player. I want to get sponsored. I want to get travel. And then like, yes, that's why these fucking people can't. I promise you, I'm not taking no shot at you. I promise you. Like, they get burnt out in like 6 to 12 months because they put these hella unrealistic expectations upon themselves, and they don't meet them, and they think they're a fucking failure when they're not. You're not a fucking failure. I don't think I'm a failure. Like,
you are a failure, Con.
I am.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I only think that. The only reason I thought you might take
I'm not
taking a stab at you is the burnout bit. The burnout bit.
No, I wouldn't say I'm burnt out. Like,
if it's any consolation, I'll insult him for you, so you don't have to feel bad.
Barry's going to insult me anyway.
It's fine. I've already written an essay before we started.
This is true. You guys don't see it at home, but he did actually grill the fuck out of this Zoomer shit.
Yeah.
Oh my
so
goodness.
like, and people come through and then they're like, why am I not, placing that well? It's been 6 months. Why am I not fucking sponsored? And like, dude, no one gives a fuck about your placing. Like, it's so irrelevant. Do you understand how fucking terrible being sponsored as a player is? Like, you do not want to be sponsored. Orgs are fucking terrible. Everything's terrible. Like, just fucking play the game. That's where your fun is. Like, being sponsored is like, it's gonna let you know fun. Having these 3 or 4 letters initials before your name adds nothing to you as a person. Nothing as a value. Doesn't add to your respect. It's just fucking fake vanity, bro. Like, people focus on playing the game. Play the fucking game. Like, why do we not fucking focus on playing the fucking game? Why do we focus on everything that's around it without focusing on playing the fucking game? Like, improve as a player, and then if you grind hard enough and long enough, then like,
that's to me that's been the biggest pitfall of the whole esports excitement. Like, for all the good opportunities that it's brought us, and it has brought us a lot of good shit. Like, I'd be ignorant to say that it hasn't, but it has bred this generation of kids that are like, this is my dream. I want to be sponsored. But what they don't realize is, like, the moment you start placing badly, or the moment that your content doesn't fly, because like, and I remember with Hold Forward when we did sponsor a couple of players, because we had access to finances to do that, and we had a thing where I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna sponsor a couple of people and help them get to events. So like, it was my little way of giving back to the community. We weren't strict on this. We did not give a shit. But I remember it was FaYd actually. FaYd was the Strife player we picked. And it was this whole thing. If he was getting all paranoid about his placements and shit, I'm like, mate, I don't care. Like, just go and have a fucking good time. I'm doing this for you because I genuinely want you to get out there and go have a good fucking time. Yeah. But unless you're like, but even if I were in a position of like a high placing org, I wouldn't really give a shit if you were like top 1, top 2, top 3, because that being said, if you don't have a personality, I don't want a fucking bar of you. So there's such a juggling act. Yeah,
I don't want to get into what takes. Well, what you need to be a sponsored player. I get asked this all the time. Like, honestly, if you go through my Twitter DMs, like, outside of like the random questions that I get sometimes, like, at least about half of them are people asking me, like, what do I need to do to be sponsored? And every single time someone asks me, I'll give them like the most accurate response that I can think of. But almost every single time they're like, ooh, alright, ooh, kind of like not what I was expecting. I'm like, bro, I can lie to you and tell you, oh yeah, like, it's gonna be the best. You're gonna get like flown around the world and live the high life. It's like, pretend you're someone who wants to be the next Messi.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like, you're not gonna be the next fucking Messi in 6 to 12 months. Like, that's unrealistic, dude. Like, it's unrealistic. People want to be at that level, and they expect it to happen within months.
Not everyone can be a fucking endwalker. Like, that's... Most of these dudes have been doing this near their entire fucking lives.
And even Messi, it took him, I don't know, he's been playing for what, 10, 15 years, and he won the World Cup just now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's wild.
It takes a super long time, like dedication over time. It's not instant. Success isn't just instant. It's not like you wake up one day and you're like castle in the sky or whatever.
Oh wow, look at me. Yeah. Exactly. Like, that's why. And now I feel like I'm opening a whole can of worms. That's why, like, I feel there's a discrepancy with outlook on things between old heads and new heads. Old heads, like, that's why, like, with a lot of the Tekken players, there's a lot. Tekken, I feel, is an aging scene. more so than Street Fighter. Like a lot of people, like they're not on Twitter, they're not even on Discord because they don't give a fuck about shit like that. They just want to play the fucking game, like old heads. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's why when they see these new kids and they're like, dude, I came 5th. I'm a fucking local. I'm so good. And no one cares. No one cares. No one gives a fuck, dude. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No one cares. It doesn't matter. You don't matter.
Exactly.
Play the fucking game. Shut up. Play the fucking game. Like that's where everything needs to start off at. You having fun while playing the game. Then you can build on that.
A lot of these kids forget that.
You placing 5th at your fucking weekly in fucking Dubber. No one gives a fuck about it. No one cares. No one cares. Yeah, I don't know.
That's my Udist weekly in Wagga Wagga.
Yeah, like just play the fucking game, and then when you're enjoying the game and you're having your fun, then try to make something with that passion, with that enjoyment. Don't just come through and just shoot yourself in the foot before you've even started to walk. Like it's so kind of productive.
You're right, Yusuf. And I want to say that I've pretty much done that because when I started going to locals, I went for Marvel and I met Muddins, who I'm sure a lot of people will know. He's pretty, Boomer who plays Super Turbo. Like, he's just the peak Street Fighter Boomer. So I met him, I had no...
Muddins, by the way, I just want to say Muddins is like the greatest.
Yeah, Muddins is lovely.
Shout out to Muddins.
Shout out Muddins. I love him. But yeah, I didn't think, I want to be a big... I mean, I play Marvel. Marvel's like a Boomer game at this point. But I never thought, I want to be a big player, blah, blah, blah. I was like... Well, it is actually funny, because I found out about locals, because Julian, shout out Julian, made a post on the Marvel 3 Reddit, saying, yeah, I am a Redditor, kill me, saying, if you're in Melbourne, and you like Marvel 3 or fighting games, come to this cool local we have called CCH. And I was like, oh, I'm in Melbourne, I like fighting games, so I'll go to this cool local called CCH. And it started from there, and then I started to TO and do stuff. Like, it started naturally, it was very organic. Like you said before about the foundation, I didn't jump into TOing right away. I had to start off small, then grow up from there. So it's exactly what you're saying, you're exactly right. You have to have that good foundation, you have to enjoy the game.
I feel you guys had really good origin stories, and my origin story was I ran fucking Smash 4 tournaments at a gamer bar.
Dude, I did not have a good origin story. I met a man on Reddit.
Oh wait, you're a Redditor. Yeah, you know what? No, I take it back. My origin story isn't as bad as yours. You're a fucking loser, dude.
Exactly, I know. I should kill myself.
Alright, well, thank you very much, FaYd, for joining us tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Much appreciated. As I said, I started this off by saying this. You're literally one of my favorite people in this fucking community. No, actually, no. Before we go, I will tell a quick story. And it's one that I literally sell people on the FGC with nowadays, in how welcoming it is. This is literally the story that I sell people on. And it was the first fighting game event that I took my son to. Back in 2017. Little young Baz. Young baby boy. He's 13 now, but he was a baby boy then.
Bazmatron.
I remember we walked in and you were at the fucking door. You were there because we'd only just met you recently and you were like really welcoming to me and shit. And I was like, I want to introduce you to this guy. He's really cool. And this is back when my son was like still really fucking nervous about meeting new people. So you go and introduce yourself to him. He runs behind my leg. He's fucking like, oh, new people. Ah, scary. So what you do, and I remember this vividly, you were like, oh shit, sorry dude, give me 5 minutes. You bolt the fuck out of the venue. You fucking leave. And you come back with a 1.25 litre bottle of Coke and a pack of Tim Tams. And you're giving him a can, you're like, oh, here you go, man, here you go. We all good now? We all good? And he gives you the biggest little shit-eating grin. You're just like, yeah, we good. We good.
That's nice.
Alright, but like, who doesn't like Coke and
Tim Tams? It's the easiest sell. But that was the thing. It was literally like, that's how I sell people. I'm like, this is how fucking nice these people are. They're fucking rad. Like, gamers have a pretty shitty stereotype because of like the way that like they've been depicted in like, I would argue, the early 2000s. You look back at the old video game awards, like the first batch that they did back when they were on Spike TV.
Oh no.
Fucking nasty shit.
Goodness.
But then like events like that, I'm like, no, they're actually like really fucking nice people. Fucking come
they're
vibe.
Just regular people. Like it's
they're
like about K-Rad before. They're just humans.
They're just dudes.
Like, I don't want to like talk too much about this, but I'm not part of any other community in fighting in video games besides fighting games. But like, just looking at the FGC as it is, we genuinely have such a wholesome, welcoming, just community-based vibe to us. Like, you look at all these other games, and yes, they might have like more prestige, more money, more accolades, more sponsors behind them. They're, you know, more esports seated fighting games. But like fighting games till this day, like the players are playing on a stage within like just arm length of the spectators. You know what I mean? Like it's still so like raw, like so vibe. Like you see people like high level names interacting with player like whoever on Twitter all the time. The thing is all with FGC that a lot of people don't realize, like we might get like
flack.
This is woke use of talking right now. Some flack for some, you know, people who might talk bad about other people, but in regards to like as well, like if you look at Smash community in particular, like, they're welcome to, you know, certain individuals who, you know, their lifestyle might not, you know, be very well understood by some other people. You know, you look at Smash community and then you see how welcoming they are to like literally any person who just wants to press button on their silly ass party game.
Oh damn!
You know? And they're like, we don't care. I'm being very like I'm not. No. Listen, when I say silly ass party game, I mean that in the most wholesome way. All right, I am not taking.
Yeah, we're not talking about Marvel 3, the other party game.
Yeah, the realest of party games, you know. And, yeah,
the frat boy party.
And you know how welcoming they are to literally any person who just wants to play. I want to tell the story, and I try not to mention any names. And this story is very, very old. This story, it goes back to about when I was only been in the FGC for a few years, and I remember it was during the time when I went to I think it was SBO. Sorry, not
Japan?
Yes, SBO in Japan. Super Battle Opera, and that was around 2008.
Wow.
So it was maybe around that year or the following year. So it was like a long time ago, right? And I used to work at a cigarette shop back then, and I used to run the cigarette shop for this guy, and I used to spend my time in IRC talking with some of the old heads, which, you know, old, raw, you know, like back then, like just talking. You can imagine how old heads used to talk in the IRC channel. And back then we had a guy in this scene. I won't mention his name just to protect their identity. And he was just a regular ass guy, pretty quiet guy. And keep in mind, it's just me and a bunch of old ass dudes, like the oldest generation you can think of, like old. And we were sitting in IRC, and then one of the guys mentioned, "Hey, did you guys know so and so is? Did you guys see so and so? He came to the weekly the other time, dressed in a dress, in a skirt and a crop top, and he had leggings on or whatever." And we were like, "Yeah, we did, but we didn't say nothing because, you know, it's like whatever. They just dressed in any way.
Yeah.
Like who cares? They just came, played, and keep it to himself." And then we're like, "Yeah," and then like that was it. And then things developed, and then that person came out again in a more female affirming attire, and then we were like, who gives a fuck? They're just coming out, they're not hurting nobody, they can dress however the fuck they want. They just coming there, they're playing their games, they're not fucking late to their fucking matches, which goes very far with me, you know. They're not disturbing nobody, and then they're just going home. And then by the end of it, that person ended up coming to one last OHN, and but then it came out that, you know, they are trans, and, you know, and what have you. And even all of us back then in 1925, fucking, we were like, who gives a fuck? They're just playing some games and having some fun. You know, like, this is the overall arcing message of fucking FGC. We just want to play fucking games and have some fun. That message didn't change back then, it hasn't changed throughout all these, and it doesn't change now. That's why when I tell people, just play the fucking game and have your fun, that's the only thing that should matter at the end of the day. The person, like, they're an extension of the game. Just play the game, have your fun, meet people. They'll all have same interests as you, obviously, because they're playing these stupid ass fighting games. So, like, the FGC is for fucking everyone, literally everyone, any person, Any
Yeah.
person. You want to play fighting games?
Even
You're
blind
welcome.
people play.
That's it.
They do it well.
Full fucking stop.
Unfucking believably
Blind people,
based.
deaf people, people who are disabled, people who don't have proper functioning arms and hands. Like, it's literally
Yeah.
for everyone. Just play the
hit the
game and have
buttons.
your fun.
It's a safe space at the end of There's always going to be bad eggs in the batch, but like that's not an indication of the entire
Name
community.
me one. Tell me one scene. Find me the one person that can name me a scene. That
Exactly,
doesn't have
it's-
people, and I tell you that's a fucking lying person right there.
Yeah, no, it's true. Every scene has
Yeah.
people. Like
No, I
that.
think we're very good for that. I
right.
pride myself on the fact that we do offer a very safe community like that. I love that shit. I think that's one of the most commendable aspects of our community.
FGC is great, man. Like it's so good.
Fighting games truly is something so great.
So
They're great. Shout out to Keto.
Shout
out
to
to Keto.
Hell yeah.
Well,
We should get Keto on.
we should get to Keto. I'm sure he will
But
jump.
again, K-Brad. Ask
I'm
K-Brad.
sorry, my reach doesn't extend that
Fine,
far.
ask K-Brad.
You can work on that. That's all good. I'm leaving that job to you. That'll be your job.
Sure.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
FaYd,
Thank you, FaYd.
beautiful
My
son of a
pleasure.
bitch.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for doing this. You know, it's always fun seeing just stuff like that. Just for fun to entertain
Yeah.
the masses, and just out there, just out of the love of the people. By the
Exactly.
people for the people. So it's always good, like, and especially for someone like me.
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day,
It's been-
I think what we're doing, we're having a lot of fun with this shit. Khan, I give you a lot of shit. You know I love you.
Yeah, I know. It's all jokes. It's all bad.
We're just having a good time. We're having a
yeah,
good
we
vibe.
press
and
the buttons and we do the special moves.
we
and we have a
do
good
the
time.
things. I kick you in the head in real life. We all have
Exactly.
fun.
You hit the lag switch.
I feel it's like a rule.
Fine.
I feel it's like a rule of thumb. Like in life, like the closer you are with someone, the more of an asshole you are to them, and the more you like not vibing with someone, the more
Yeah.
formal and proper you are with them. That's why I'm like, if you want to know if I like you or not, the nicer I am to you, the less that I like you.
Well, FaYd called me a
And
bitch on
the-
camera, so I think he likes
the
me.
the more I'm talking shit, like so close to your face with like little spit flying out of your mouth and landing
Oh,
on your
Cheddar's gonna be a
nose,
super spreader
the more
event.
the more that I love you.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to OHN and say hi, Yusuf, shake his hand, and then he just proceeds to fucking kick me in the chest.
I used to
I can't
shake
wait
his
for it.
hand and then I contract AIDS.
He loves me so much. He broke 2 of my ribs.
I just
It's okay. That just means he likes you. I
I
can't
walk
breathe.
into the venue and then immediately just contract hepatitis C.
Oh.
You should have closed your eyes.
I shouldn't have gone to the anime section. But anyway, yeah, thank you, Yusuf. It was
thank
great having
you.
you on, man. Thank you.
And thank
No worries,
you,
guys,
thank
my
you,
pleasure.
Khan. Beautiful
Of
as
course.
always.
Thank you.
We will see you next time for another tolerable installment of the Barnyard.
Tolerable in quotation marks.
And as our close off has been and will always be, we've been the Barnyard. You've been beautiful. Now, would you kindly do me the courtesy of getting the fuck out of my house? Good night.
You've been listening to the Bahnyard. We'll see you next time for another installment of the hottest mess this side of the ANZFGC. Until next time, stay gnarly.